Yeah, so go ahead and, because we have two legs and we ambulate, we're always in a situation where one of our legs is doing one of the patterns, flexion patterns, and the other is doing the other pattern, extension pattern. So go ahead right now and just track on your own self. And you can use the wall for balance or a friend for balance if you want, or just work with your own balance. Track with yourself, try to see how you can feel, or if you can feel, this external rotation, flexion. But remember, as you're going into flexion with one leg, you're actually in extension with the other of the hip.
And does that happen by virtue of bringing the other leg into flexion? Does it cause more extension in the other?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because you could flex both.
Okay.
Just right now, we're working with that. But yeah, you can play with that. But if you're going to do flexion with both, then remember that external rotation as well. And if you want to play with arabesque, or this pattern of extension, when the leg is elevated, then you can think about the vinegar cup, and the femur, as it medially rotates and abducts into extension. And then this other side is actually, the hip is flexed, so there's an external rotation. If you align these surfaces and utilize the soft tissue structure, you'll find more balance, more agility. It's really fun. So we're working with conditioning those sensations, and we're trying to use this design element as a map to understand. Yeah. So one thing too is that as we go into situations like, arabesque or whatever, we want to ask ourselves questions about what are we doing with our spine. Now, many of us have been trained in dancing or other sports or things, and told that this is better for this situation, this is better for that. If you've been trained in performative dance, there's a lot of emphasis on verticality often, and on presenting towards the crowd. So they'll often in an arabesque situation, you will see a lot of thoracic extension. Now, that's good for performance quality maybe, and presenting towards the crowd. May not be the best way to use the structure, most efficient way to use the structure. The best way meaning way to disperse the force evenly through the tissue. And I would suggest in this situation, if you're going into arabesque, to also allow for neutrality of the spine if you're interested in efficiency or agility, meaning having more options or places to go. Neutrality of the spine means maintaining the curves, right? And all of you are really, I can see around doing this amazing job of really allowing for the pelvis to be asymmetrical, because sometimes the tendency is to want to square off. And if you square off, you can see much of your mass is going this way, right? So if I'm trying to balance, I want to actually use my base of support as the tool to funnel through the forces through, so that I can actually organize over that base of support. So now we've talked a little about the legs, let's go into the arms. Believe it or not, as you elevate the arm, the joint itself is not asking for elevation here in a sort of straight line up. The joint itself is suggesting this sort of diagonal relationship. That way then the head of the humerus is looking at the glenoid fossa all the way around more evenly, yeah? But like the leg, it also follows a pathway of external, the humerus follows this pathway of external rotation in flexion and internal rotation in extension. I would say how you move through the world does impact who you are and how you think.
Yeah, okay.
And vice versa,
Yeah. Thanks.
potentially.
So, yesterday you mentioned you were talking about landing pads and you were picking apples and bringing them in.
Yes.
Actually, right now I'm thinking of if my dog is here at this level and I'm reaching for the apple, then I'm externally rotating, and then to feed my dog, I internally rotate.
Yeah, but let's also remember to abduct. So behind you, there's also this moving away from the midline.
So both directions?
Yeah, that's what it means. Adduction, abduction. Add, like adding together, and ab, or abduction. People say it like that. Yeah? So I use those words because it's hard to be like, move out. You know, I don't know. I mean, there's like a lot, you can describe it in a lot of different ways, but this language has been cultivated to describe it. So that's why I'm using it. It's fine.
And you said for the arm going back is ab.
Yeah.
Ab?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also for the leg.
Right. Okay.
Medial rotation or internal rotation and abduction. So again, one of the main patterns that we see a lot in a lot of dance training or in many things is in extension, external rotation. This is very hard on the hips. Very hard on the hips. And I feel, my body gives me immediate feedback, neural feedback when I do that.
When you try to internally
When I
rotate.
externally rotate in extension.
Yeah. Definitely.
But what you just were saying though about your hips when you're leaning over, I feel like you, isn't that rotating outward?
So you're moving your pelvis.
Okay.
I'm talking about this joint of the femur, and just really here, I can move my pelvis around and get all kinds of impressions about where the leg is. That's why being in, converting from the outside in is very problematic because my eye can't really see what's going on necessarily, So, internal rotation and abduction and extension. External rotation.
So there's still some kind of abduction even when you're going up, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the bag.
Yeah, because the scapular, the opening on the scapula is here. It's not here. It's not here.
But much like this curve, it goes inwards and then back outwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there's always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.